You can see I got some serious helmet hair going after lunch. This thing is a serious workout. Driving it with the helmet on, with the neck brace, the Hans system, tiny steering wheel, the uncomfortably low slung seating arrangement. The pedal box is absolutely tiny. I don't know how much you can see down in there, but there's these little kick plates for you to brace your foot on. It's really hard work. Your shoulders get sore. I ended up driving sort of with my elbows in, mostly forearms, to save just the wear and tear on my arms. But it's a ton of fun, and it's taking everything we've learned from driving the Challengers, from driving the Viper, from driving the Lotus. The closest comparable that I could say that I've driven that would be like this was driving a Lotus Exige S with an aftermarket supercharger on it that probably weighed about 2,000 pounds. This thing weighs more like 1,250. It's only got allegedly 160 horsepower, but the engine screams up super high. You've got the pneumatic air actuated paddle shifters. It's just a ton of fun. It's exhausting, but it's so rewarding, and the more you do it, the less tired you get while doing it. But it's still crazy to think about Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in their Formula One cars, like keeping track of what's going on in the race around them as they're subjecting themselves to even more blunt force trauma than this thing gives you while driving around this relatively small track here at Radford. End of the 4-day Grand Prix racing class here at Radford Racing School. I got to drive everything from this massive Dodge Challenger Hellcat Widebody, which means it's got the wider tires that are a big detail here at the racing school, to an Evora GT, spent a lot of time in a Viper GT, and then today was almost entirely in this Ligier F4 car, which is sort of the transition, the culmination of everything we've been learning on the skid pad with the evasive driving maneuvers, out here doing ovals, practicing our heel toe, learning how to plant the nose while braking, learning how to pick up throttle without spinning out. And it all comes into this super analog, no driver's aids, real race car. It's been a serious workout. My shoulders are sore. I got some bruises for sure, but it's also been an incredible learning experience. And I'm gonna come out of this with an SCCA license, which I'll have to like upkeep over the next year to keep valid in some way, but hopefully in my career, I'll be able to do that. The big learnings for me have been really focusing on braking, because I've always avoided braking as much as possible, thinking that it just slows you down. But planting that nose allows you to really shift the weight lower and then turn in when the contact patch of the tire is wider. And then while you're doing that, you want to have your vision high. You want to be looking far ahead, past the corner, past the apex, past even your exit point, because then you're feeling the suspension shifting, the tires grips, and you're not focusing on an object, which they call here object targeting, and driving straight to that, losing speed when you then have to correct. But not all of these techniques translate to strictly track cars. A lot of this is stuff that you can take, you can learn from, and feel more confident driving around with a bunch of amateur drivers out on the streets. But of course, we have to talk about the money. You come here to the Grand Prix Racing 4-day class, it starts at about $7 grand. You add on stuff like the Viper, you add on your photo and videography, and then you've got your travel expenses, and it all's gonna run about $10,000 for 4 days. But when you really dig into that, you know, how many tires are you shredding? How many gallons of gas are you burning? You've got multiple instructors helping you out in the classroom, on the track, helping you get in and out of this Formula 4 car, which you cannot get in and out of on your own. And it really hourly starts to seem a lot more reasonable, and everything you take out of it, if you're actually going to be racing a race car of your own, you're going to be a lot less likely to crash that race car, which will end up costing you a lot more than the 4 days here at Radford did. But all technique aside, all learning aside, all classroom time and all these licenses aside, most of all, you come to Radford and you have a really good time. It's a ton of fun, it's a lot of work, but you're grinning ear to ear the whole time you're in a car like this or like this. The sounds, the smells, the people are super friendly and super nice, and that's always a good sign for any establishment. I hope you learned something watching this video about everything that's going on here at Radford, the renamed, rebranded, revamped version of the long tenured Bob Bondurant Racing School. I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. As always, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. And check out my next video, which will be day 5 of this week, where I'm gonna learn drag racing here in a Dodge Demon. Thanks.